Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Well, you just have to read the stories that are happening in South Africa to understand that this ANC government are completely and utterly self-serving. Think of Tourism Minister Zweli Mkhize, who used her ministry's tourism money, 150,000 rand of it, to do a cook-off with Samizi Mlongo Matang. I'll tell you a bit more about it, and you'll understand the context in a second. Tourism Minister Mameloko Zweli Mkhize paid 150,000 rand for the 2-hour cook-off with media personality Samizi Mlongo Matang a few weeks ago. The event, which was billed as a showcase of the skills and innovative entrepreneurial venture capital in growing and sustaining the hospitality industry, was held at the Hangout 1632 restaurant in Ndayene in Tembisa, Gauteng. Hangout restaurant is owned by entrepreneur and DJ Shimza, whose real name is Ashley Rafola. Zweli Mkhize said the event cost 150,000 rand, which covered the venue, mobile kitchen hire, event staffing, safety and event compliance requirements, the stage, sound system, food supplies, exhibition setup, and publicity, including live streaming of activities. However, she denied Mlongo benefited from the cook-off. Zweli Mkhize said, "It is important to state that there was no payment made to Samizi Mlongo, and the department notes with concern the general public perception that he benefited from the event, which is not the case." She revealed details of the cook-off in a parliamentary reply to DAMP Shlanganani Gumbi, who demanded answers on the cook-off's purpose on May the 17th, ahead of her department's budget vote. Zweli Mkhize said the ministerial cook-off was part of the pre-tourism budget vote departmental awareness activities, showcasing the department's work in terms of the participation of graduate chefs from its training programs, as well as promoting a culture of eating out, particularly at township establishments. Well, before we go any further, this woman, the tourism minister, who's on, let's remember, R1 million a year salary, plus benefits on top of that, didn't put 1 cent of her own money into this cook-off. Okay? Now, why you'll understand what I'm talking about here shows a complete disconnect between the ANC ministers and well-connected cadres who are so friggin' corrupt, you can't make this shit up. What you have to understand is that this is just absolutely ridiculous, because this is where South Africa is now going, where the ministers are trying to make themselves celebrities. And of course, while they're doing that, they're cleaning up in the background. According to Zweli Mkhize, the event was funded through money obtained from her department's Communications Chief Directorate from its 2021-2022 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework allocation. She defended the cook-off, saying the Tourism Act of 2014 provided for development and promotion of tourism in the country. Well, I've just a simple question for the woman who represents the tourism industry in South Africa. Why didn't you get someone from the township involved in the cook-off rather than yourself? That's called inclusiveness. But no, that was never on the table. This is all about me. That's what this is all about. And you are so out of touch with reality, and we'll come to that in a second. The media alert announced the event indicated it would feature exhibitions by young entrepreneurs who are new entrants in the hospitality business and those who have initiated successful businesses within their communities following the completion of the skill development programs implemented by the department. In the aftermath of the announcement of the cook-off, there was an outcry over DJ Shimza allegedly benefiting from political connections, as his long-time girlfriend is reportedly Ati Galeba, head of digital communications in President Cyril Ramaphosa's office. DJ Shimza told a Sunday newspaper Galeba had no interest in any of his businesses or any relationship in the tourism department, and his establishment had never received any business or funding from government before the event. Ramaphosa this week appointed Kabayi Ngubane as acting health minister after he placed the incumbent Dr. Zweli Mkhize on special leave for allegations of corruption. Mkhize has been implicated in a dodgy 150 million rand contract awarded to Digital Vibes, a company controlled by his close associates Tahera Mata and Nadri Mita. Now, I got this wrong in a video I put out just a week ago, where I suggested that Bekesele would become the acting health minister and Zweli Mkhize would do the rotating chair syndrome and become the police minister, while each was investigated for crimes. Because that's how the ANC works. Nothing ever changes. It's the same circle of friends, all covering each other's backsides. But let's get back to the point here. Here you have the tourism minister acting like she's some celebrity out there, using her own tourism ministry money to actually promote this cook-off. Okay, televised cook-off. But what is actually happening right now in South Africa? Let me tell you. While the tourism minister is having cook-offs, televised cook-offs costing 150,000 rand, just so she can get her face out there, guess what is happening in Johannesburg? Well, this is real life. Chaos reigns in Johannesburg. This is the biggest city in southern Africa, remember? As residents are not only being subjected to load shedding, but also enduring electricity and water outages, with many councillors reporting the largest number of complaints in years. Now, we had to pull a live stream we were supposed to have last night, a jamming session with Calais and Craig, who live in two totally different districts in Gauteng. Both Craig and Calais last night were victims of unexpected load shedding, also known as a blackout when the power is not working. In fact, it's so bad in Calais' home that all the food in the freezer has had to be thrown out. They haven't had power for over 24 hours. Here you have the tourism minister running around spending 150,000 rand for a cook-off, while the reality is people who live in the same district as she is having the cook-off have absolutely no power. And of course, their water issues. So the basics of life are not working in South Africa's biggest city, while the tourism minister is spending money on a little publicity stint for herself. Think about it. She is supposed to be the tourism minister. No electricity, no water. Who in their right mind would come to a country where this is not a going thing? This is absolutely ridiculous. But let's continue with the story. City Power Chief Executive Mongezi Nsokolo said a meeting had been urgently convened by executives and depot managers to find solutions to the outages across Johannesburg. Well, You don't have to look any further than the incompetence of these people who are actually doing it, like the incompetence of the ANC ministers, like said tourism minister. These guys are just cadres, they're just well connected, they're cleaning up while everybody else is being forced into a very desperate situation. And they don't care. All this bullshit about, oh, we're going to do this, that, and the other for the community is a load of crap, quite honestly. Anyway, let's continue. The meeting being convened by Mkhize and Sekolo follows the increase in outcries and concerns about outages, some of which have taken over 5 days to resolve. The management, he said, also focused on the backlogs, including Region G, which is serviced by the Lenasia depot. And Sekolo said, while the backlogs are primarily due to the blockade of our depots in the past 2 weeks, which prevented the team from rendering services, there are also fundamental issues that need to be addressed, which include capacity issues and the vast area covered by a single depot. Well, how did that happen? Pre-1994, Johannesburg never had load shedding issues or water delivery issues. So what changed? You got an ANC government. And I don't have to go into anything else about that. Environment and Infrastructure Services, MMC, Umfo Morani, has welcomed these interventions. Now you notice all these names are not the sort of names that you would expect with people who are there by way of merit, because they're not. They're just well-connected ANC cadres who sit there behind a big desk when they're not pottering around doing something else and earning big fat salaries. That's how it works in South Africa today. Anyway, Morani said, the increase in capacity of contractors and internal technicians will assist in reducing the backlogs and ensure a quick turnaround to outage calls. Well, how many times have I heard that before in media reports? And of course, nothing ever happens. He also unveiled plans aimed at addressing the water challenges. Over the next 48 months, Johannesburg Water plans to address the protracted water infrastructure vulnerabilities affecting the Hurst Hill, Brixton and Crosby reservoirs and towers. There are plans for a new connection from Rand Water to supplement water supply to the Crosby Reservoir, a new booster pump station and associated pipework in Hurst Hill, and the construction of a new reservoir and tower in Brixton. Of course, none of this will ever get done, because the ANC haven't ever achieved doing anything in their lives before. And that's been too kind. Just to continue with what Mr. Morani said, he said, to realize these objectives, the city plans to invest over 330 million rand in support of Johannesburg Water's short and long-term plans to build a more resilient water infrastructure for Brixton, Hurst Hill and Crosby reservoirs and towers. Rand Water and Johannesburg Water had made operational changes with a positive effect in increasing water flow. Well, you know where that 330 million rand is going to go? Like everything else that the ANC put their hands on, straight into someone's back pocket. So while you've got the Minister of Tourism throwing money around so she can become a celebrity, the reality is that on her turf, the biggest city in southern Africa, Johannesburg, has no power and the water is dodgy. What tourist would want to come near such an environment, especially if they've got a family, especially understanding the crime rate in Johannesburg is completely out of control. Well done, Tourism Minister. You're a complete and utter, POS. I'll leave it at that. Please remember to subscribe to Loving Life on YouTube to be kept informed. Please remember to register on lovinglifetv.com to be kept informed. That is where we're posting additional videos you won't see on YouTube, because YouTube is censorship city. So if you want the whole story, you got to register on lovinglifetv.com. Please like this video, please share this video, and above all, please stay safe. Bye for now.